This is Royce Hargrove doing a video submission for First Take. The topic I'm choosing today will be addressing Stephen A's comments on Colin Kaepernick's his decision not to vote. First and foremost, as a black man, proudly, I would like to state that I respect Colin's decision not to vote. I understand his decision not to vote, and I would not condemn his decision to not vote. It is his right to choose whether he should or should not. Our ancestors they died for our right, and with that right, for our freedom of choice as well. It's too long we've been throughout this history of this country been enslaved to we have to think or talk or act or be a certain way to be accepted or to be acceptable, or this standard is the only way to be deemed worthy or to be deemed equal. We have to conform a lot of times to everybody's ideals, or maybe just this single ideal, and that's the only right one. And that's the problem, because he has every right to not vote if he chooses to. Because I guarantee, let me just break this down to you. If every single black person voted for Hillary Clinton, she still would not have won, because there was an overwhelmingly amount of white people who voted for Donald Trump, and their population outweighs the black population, which is only about 13% of the American population. So regardless of that, he still had the overwhelming amount of numbers to win this presidential election. So I'm not condemning Colin Kaepernick for his right to or to not vote, because let's be real about this. You should not have to subject your morals or your conscience to a level to be able to sit at this voting booth and be having to choose between evil and evil, bad and bad. Both are one and the same. And for some people, you have a moral compass that you are given and a conscience, and it's your free, righteous mind. And I applaud that courage to even go against that grain, because yes, you're going to have your own people coming at you and saying, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Our people died for this and that. What is wrong with you? And condemn you like you did, Stephen A. And that's a shame, because were things going to be different with Hillary Clinton in office? Were blacks going to stop getting killed by police if she became president? We're going to stop having racism, stop having divide, stop having mass incarceration, stop having failures in education, failures in housing. Were any of these going to stop if Hillary Clinton became president? No. The answer is no. She's the female equivalent of Trump. She is just more subtle in her actions and her tendencies. It's not as boisterous and loud as him. So that fear is not as prevalent with Hillary as it is with Donald Trump, but they're one and the same. See, as a black man, I would never publicly disarm, discredit, belittle my own people, because I'm feeding into that rhetoric and that system that wants me to create the divide amongst each other, that wants us to do that to each other, wants us to bash each other, to condemn, falsely condemn, wrongly condemn, so we create this divide, so we can have this false premise that we're all Americans, we're all in this together, and it's not the case. This election should prove to you right there it's not the case. This is who your country's always been. It has always been this racist, bigoted, destructive country. It started that way. It is still that way. They just have been woken back up. They have never gone anywhere. These people have still been here, passed this down for generations. They still have been here. It's because it's 2016 don't mean we just all one happy 4th of July Americans. It's not like that. Because the thing about this, and I try to preach this to my people all the time, first and foremost, above anything, you are black. You are African. Before it all. Before you American, before you a Chicagoan or New Yorkan or whatever you want to call it, you are black and you are African. You have an obligation and an honor and a duty to your culture always to come first before anything else. That's the only way you survive. That's the only way you progress ahead in this life. You have to stay committed to that. And so that's all I have to say to address this issue with Colin Kaepernick.